Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my second video on this new YouTube channel left me. This will be the Archon guide, because I think the Archon wizard will be pretty overpowered in 1.0.8 because of the change of Archon, that you don't need to kill enemies anymore, but if you do an assist, it's enough to increase the duration of Archon by 1 second. So I think Archon is viable in 1.0.8, even on higher MPs, especially in groups. I've equipped this Archon wizard. It's pretty mediocre stuff, but I got 426k DPS buffed with some 500 overresist, 3.7k armor. This is with glass cannon, and with Archon it's 40% more. I can easily do MP5, I can even do MP6 on Act 3, Act 1 or 2, maybe MP6 to 7, and in a group it's even more, so that works quite well. The skills, Archon of course, with improved Archon for more damage. Then you have these 3 damage buffs: energy armor, pinpoint barrier, 5% crit is a lot of damage. Magic weapon with blood magic, you use that if you don't have lifesteal on your weapon. I don't, so I use blood magic, otherwise you want to use force weapon. And familiar with spark flint, another 12% more damage. Passes will be critical mass to reset cooldown of Archon by staying into Archon. This works. Galvanizing ward, because your energy armor has only 2 minutes duration, and then you would have to refresh your Archon. But with Galvanizing Ward you can hold it up to 4 minutes, and Glass Cannon for another 15% damage. These two you can swap out. I would say Electrocute is the best in terms of DPS, and if you don't have Arcane Power and Crit, use that one. If you got Arcane Power and Crit, use Energy Twister with Wicked Wind. This resets the cooldown of Archon a lot faster. And that one you can switch out for whatever you want. I use Frost Nova, Cold Snap. You can use Diamond Skin, Crystal Shell, Teleport, Slow Time, whatever you want. So the gear is pure DPS. You don't need to hit any breakpoints and stuff, so use everything you want and go for straight DPS. The Triumvirate is obviously the best source because it's got the highest DPS. But with the Triumvirate, a black weapon is mandatory. A black weapon is a weapon that doesn't have elemental damage. So an Arcane Fury, for example, is the black weapon. The area around the damage number is black, so that's why it's called a black weapon. Elemental weapons have some stuff there. Show it really quick. That, for example, that purplish thing, star, sign, whatever, means it's arcane damage. This is a black weapon too, this too. So use a black weapon, because the 655% fire, lightning and arcane damage only work with black weapon. The same goes for the poison damage on Zunimas' boots or on Tyrasha's amulet. So Zunimas' 2 set is pretty good. The ring and the boots. These got the highest DPS, I think, in those 2 slots, if you combine them. You don't really need to use the Unity. I got it because I played CM before, because of Live on Hit, and I didn't got a ring to switch out, so I used that. And rest is pure DPS. This is a really poor craft, it's nothing special. This short has got some mediocre stats. Always is below. And Direts is quite nice for damage stats. I got a Mampo, but I don't need it because I only farm with Archon on MP5 and stuff, and I don't need the Mampo to survive, and the damage is pretty equal to on Direts. Tarasha test, of course, switching our Inner's crafted amulet, a Lacunis, and yeah, that's about the gear. Get everything that has damage. You don't need that high or resist. when you pop Archon, your resist increases by 40%, so I go to 750, around that one, which is roughly 71 to 72% damage mitigation. Same for armors, around 5k, which would be 60%. You don't really need these high defensive stats to survive low MPs. More important is damage, and you will only have problems with range mob that deal a lot of burst damage, and reflect. Reflect kills you very quickly if you don't have lusty on your weapon. With the Archon, you only want to farm zones that have high mob density. For example, keep deaths 2. I'll quickly show that. Turn this sound down a bit. It's a bit too loud, I guess. So you want to pop all your damage mitigations, amplifiers, and alright, I've got an Archon at the moment. That's unfortunate. But keep depths is a pretty good zone, and if you don't have Archon, you can see with chain lightning, with fork lightning, you still can do pretty good damage. This is MP5. MP6 is quite the same kill streak. Problems are elites for Archon and for your electrocute, because Archon does not have that high single target DPS. If you wanna calculate your Archon DPS, take your sheet DPS and multiply it by 3.75 if you use improved Archon. And that should roughly be around 1.5 million if you have the DPS I have. 1.4, 1.5 million. And for my gear level, that's not very much DPS. The auto attack of the Archon does pretty good damage though. I have hits around 1 to 1.5 million per hit by an attack speed of 2, which is pretty good. And the explosion I most use to open doors, damage stuff that's around me. You don't really need attack speed for Archon. It improves damage, but crit and crit damage will do much better. The attack speed helps though with doing the Archon skills, because the Archon beam itself has a cast animation, and the faster your attacks are, the faster you cast this beam, and the faster you can kill mobs. But on high MP it doesn't really matter. I would say if you go for Archon and wanna farm MP 4 to 5 and stuff, try to at least get 400 Orises with glass cannon, so around 440 unbuffed, and around 3.5 to 4k armor with energy armor, which shouldn't be a problem. If you go for Undirects, make sure the fire damage isn't that high, because molten and fire chains and stuff, if it gets close to you, will kill you immediately. The gem for the weapon will be emerald. I don't really know why. The ruby is in most cases better if you have a marquise one, but the emerald nonetheless does more damage. I don't know why. So use the emerald in the weapon. Craft your gloves, shoulders, amulet, and yeah, try to stack vitality, because versus reflect you will die really fast, and if you have low vitality you don't have the time to react to it. So try to at least get 35 to 40k life pool. And that's that. That was pretty much the Archon guide. I hope it was a bit shorter than the CM was a guide, which was 25 minutes. So if you liked the video, put it in the comments what you ever suggest or something. And don't forget to subscribe. So see you guys next time.